Hello, hello, and welcome to Dear Dana on a Wednesday night. Tonight's show is about medical gaslighting, and I knew I was going to have to talk about the whole Will Smith Chris Rock debacle. I couldn't decide whether to focus on that or the other. I had already decided to do medical gaslighting, but I knew I could not mention the whole chaos at the Oscars either, because it has bothered me as well. I didn't know if it was just over saturated, but how could I not bring that up also, because it's more than what meets the eye, the repercussions of what will echo after what has occurred. And that being said, I am happy for all those who will be tuning in. I didn't know if this medical gaslighting would be a boring topic, but darn, it happens to so many people, and you just may not realize it in the moment, but it's so important to be aware of it. Hey, Chase Ryder and Paranormal Witch Willow. So happy to see you all. Look, medical gaslighting has happened to me. It happens to so many women. It happens to minorities. It happens a lot to women. I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men. But hopefully I know there are a lot of good medical persons out there. I've worked with them. I've seen them. But I've seen a whole lot of people in the medical field that will minimize you if they can't figure out what's going on. They'll see you, and you might not know what exactly is going on with your body. And sometimes they might go, it's anxiety. You're too stressed. You need more sleep. Right? They might throw a prescription at you, tell you to get more exercise, eat better, sleep better. They'll tell some people to lose weight, and it'll all rectify itself. That's belittling you. That's gaslighting you. Especially if they can't find it in your blood work. Or if they can't figure it out. Hello, vintage optimism. That's gaslighting at its best. I know when I first started having MS symptoms when I was younger, they would come so few and far apart. I was gaslighting myself because I had a special needs child. I didn't get a lot of rest. He was on a monitor often, and I would blow it off as stress, not enough rest. I would have these weird attacks. When it got to the point where it felt like a heart attack, I finally took myself to the ER. And they did a workup. They did blood work. They wanted me to be in the hospital overnight. I knew I couldn't do it. I had patients I had to see during the day, and I worked in emergency rooms. I wasn't going to hospitalize myself, and I had a handicapped child. And when they found out it wasn't my heart, I thought, I must be having a panic attack or something. And then one night I had to go see a patient. I had to drive to 3 different emergency rooms on call. And I remember one night it was raining. I had to drive to a hospital that was 30 minutes away. And I went blind when I was driving. Literally, I was going blind driving down an interstate in the rain. And it scared the hell out of me, of course. And as my my vision was diminishing, I happened to pull over at a church. I didn't know what else to do. I pushed a button that I knew was like it automatically would call. Hey, Terry Ann Russell. I knew it would automatically call uh, dispatch so they could send another psych person to that hospital because I couldn't get to the patients, that I couldn't make it. And I was lucky enough that the church I pulled over to, there were paramedics at that church. Thank God. And they came out and they saw me. They wanted me to be escorted to the hospital. Um, I refused. Ugh, dummy. My blood pressure was high, mainly because I was afraid because I didn't know what was happening to me. They did what I asked and had someone pick me up and carry me home. I promised I would be looked at, and again, I thought I was having a panic attack. So I took it upon myself to diagnose myself, and I went and got therapy and had my physician put me on something to help me so I could get back to work. Wrong answer, Dana. So I went through and had some more cardiac tests done to make sure it wasn't a heart problem, and just treated myself like it was a panic attack for a while until some of the symptoms got closer together. I started having numb hands, numb legs, more visual problems, some other things. And I went to a doctor and said, I'm afraid I think I might have MS. I'm having symptoms like I have MS. They blew it off. They blew it off. And they attributed it to high stress because of my job. So, long story short, I kept trying to dig at it periodically over periods of time because I thought, well, maybe I'm just a hypochondriac. Maybe it is stress, right? I kept blaming myself, thinking maybe it's just me. And I was getting tired of having the symptoms and feeling like, man, Dana, you're wackadoo. I can remember working at the hospital and having my office order thicker pens or pencils because I can remember having trouble writing with the thinner ones. I thought, that's just weird. And I can remember by the end of the night, I looked like I was a drunk person. And I'm saying, oh, you're overtired because you haven't had enough sleep. And I was real conscious of how I was walking. So it would be over the years, I was gaslit so much. I just kept thinking it was me. So I wasn't getting appropriate diagnosis. And I went to another doctor. My mom says, make a list of every time you have an incident and a lot of the symptoms. And I took it to one doctor, and I can remember her sort of looking over it and just balling it up. And I thought, I will never do that again. I will never do that again. I felt like she thought I was a hypochondriac. She never addressed any of it. And so it was a few years before I ever went and had it checked out again. And I finally went to a doctor, and he goes, well, I see that you have some osteoarthritis going on. And he was pushing around and doing different things and did some testing. He goes, you have fibromyalgia. And I said, whoo, phew, I thought I had MS. So I settled into that diagnosis. Then finally, after Noah passed away, I went and got a more deep visual exam. Yeah, I have a lot of pain. I deal with a lot of pain. I went and got a visual exam where they used some heavy dutier machines because I was having a lot of weird visual pain and having a lot of blind moments again. And of course, the numbness, and I would have moments of where my arms would do things without my permission. Let's put it that way. I would drop that my hands would open by themselves, or just, my arms would do things without my permission. I was still having clumsy moments, but my vision was really giving me fits. So they used some heavy duty machines. One was called an OCT, and they were able to see the back of my brain. And the doctor put up a picture on the wall, and I thought he was just going to use it as a diagram. So I was looking at the picture. I didn't know that it was my eye. And he was showing me this thing, and the picture looked like, if you can think of a cable that's been, like a fire happened and it got blown out. And he's talking to me, and he said, "I'm sorry, but you have multiple sclerosis." And it did not register. And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he said, "This is your eye. I'm sorry, but you have multiple sclerosis. This is your eye. You are legally blind. This is like a cable that's been blown out. It's attached to your brain. You have a pale optic nerve. You're almost completely blind in that eye. Did you not realize that?" And I guess my left eye was trying to compensate for my right eye. I have some vision. And I couldn't say anything. And I was stunned. Hadn't been long since I lost Noah. And I went home, and I don't think it even computed. A few days later, I had to call him again and say, "Could you put that doctor back on the phone and have him repeat what he said to me?" So after that, he said, "I have referred you to a neurologist." And this is how the whole process began, of me, after a couple of decades of me initially saying, "I think I have multiple sclerosis," finally getting the diagnosis. So talk about being gaslit and ignored for that long. If your doctors will not look you in the eye, if they will not listen to your symptoms, if they will not address your concerns, if they kind of blow off what you're telling them, or giving you a medication, or trying to tell you it's something else, you're being gaslit. How many of you have ever had to deal with any of that, or a family member? There's a story of a lady that she kept telling her doctor she was dealing with abdominal pain. And they kept telling her it's probably an ulcer. And they would give her different things for ulcers. It's probably stress. They might palpitate her stomach. Different things like that. And she was overweight. And she would tell them a little bit about it, but it gets to the point that you decide not to say anything anymore. You want to be a good patient. You don't want them to think you're neurotic or crazy. And after some time, they found out she had a 20-pound tumor. It wasn't just an ulcer. It becomes dangerous because you pay them to be your physician. You want them to care for your greater good. You have to advocate for yourself, for your child, for your family member. So it's important to go in there with questions. Ask when you don't understand. If something they're saying does not feel right, say so. Ask the questions. They work for you. Your doctors, your nurses, the techs, they work for you. Always remember that. You are not at their mercy. And I'm not saying go in there on the defensive, but it's happening more and more and more because they're getting so many patients. Terry Ann says, yes, I had to advocate many times on my daughter's behalf. They wanted to do an invasive test, and I said no, it didn't resonate at all. Hey, JC Bear, I had to do that often on my son's behalf. There were times they wanted to do invasive procedures, and there are times, especially if it's a special needs or a handicapped child or an older person, it is unsafe to put people to sleep too many times. It causes scar tissue. It causes damage. The more you put a person to sleep, the more damaging it is to their airway because of scar tissue. And the more difficult it is, especially if they have airway problems or breathing problems on their lungs. Right. Terry Ann said her husband said, they're the doctors, we have to listen to them. We don't. You have to weigh it out. You have to weigh out the pros and cons. At one time, they said I might have to put a breathing tube in his throat. But I had to feel it in my gut whether it was appropriate. JC Bear said I had to advocate on behalf. Let me pull it up. On behalf to get to see a neurologist, ended up having to get the surgery I needed. Right. Sometimes you have to push the envelope. Hey, Maddie Carroll. I'm going through this with my daughter. Her periods are horrible. We've been fighting this for 10 years. Her cycles are normal. What are you fighting to get done, Maddie? Or just trying to figure out what it is? You watch her get misdiagnosed constantly. She has Asperger's. Yeah, you're right, Willow. Has to be 50-50. Doctor needs to listen, and you have to listen to them. Ask questions and learn. I mean, when Noah was 8, I pushed to have a procedure done that they typically didn't use on children. When they were telling me at that time we were going to lose him, and it saved his life when he was 8. And thank God I kept him till we had him till he was 21. And that procedure was used on children at Children's Hospital from then on out and was saving lives. So now we see the purpose in it. And the fact that, I got the message from above, so I was a vessel. I'm not taking credit. But the fact that we were able to get them to use it on Noah opened the door. We had to sign papers for them to use it on other children then on out. So you never know what the reasoning is that you're also pushing for others. You see what I mean? I always was in the middle, in the mix. You never know if what you're pushing for is going to help a million others. You have to advocate, because if not, you're just putting the power in everybody's hands. And I'm not saying, oh, you have to run everything. But, that was my baby, my child. And here, too, there are a lot of wonderful, great doctors. Let me preface with that. But there are also some doctors that think they're God. And that is the truth. And they are not. And they are not. And that is one of the places where that gut instinct is the most important. The most important. It is so true. And these days, doctors seem to only know their field, their specialty, their field. So, like I said with Noah, do you know how many fields that I had to learn about so I would know what I was talking about when I had to deal with his doctors? Good gracious. Maddie says she bleeds heavily for 2 days. They say she's not hemorrhaging, she's fine. She bleeds through her clothes every hour, and her pain is crazy. She's crying and hurting, and I can't help her. How old is she, Maddie? I mean, almost sounds like she has endometriosis. Can I ask how old she is? Have you taken her to a female doctor? She's 27. And they said no endometriosis. There's got to be a reason for that. That doesn't make any sense. Heavily for 2 days. But it's only for 2 days. And after 2 days, then what? What about the third day? Wow. I'm sorry she's going through that. I had good doctors where I was. I'm so sorry she's going through that. Yeah, that's what I would say. Did they offer any ideas on fixing it? Hey, Virginia Woolf. I mean, she's still young, but I guess they think after 2 days, and she's not, if she were hemorrhaging, it would continue after the 2 days. There is a birth control that can stop the bleeding entirely. She just needs to go to a doctor that's going to listen to her and find a better solution. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go in menopause either. I absolutely agree. Hey, Robin Cook, I absolutely agree with you. Finding the right doctor to build trust with that's going to listen to the symptoms and not just throw you out to the wind. She needs to find one that's going to listen and give her some, you know, self confidence not to have to deal with that all the time. And hey, JC Bear. But we need to praise and build great relationships with the medical staff that does listen, that doesn't gaslight, and we need to advocate for ourselves. And the ones that do tend to gaslight, make them pay attention, make them be better listeners, help them to be more aware of their behaviors and not allow it. Because it's not necessarily that they are bad doctors, but these days they have a million patients. They're wrapping them out. Maybe they only have 10 or 15 minutes, but let's help them to help ourselves make it more quality and not let this be a pattern like patients are manufactured. It's just happening too much. And I feel like too often patients and clients that don't know better, just like who was it that said you have to listen to was it Terry, that you need to listen to the doctor and do everything they say? No, it is a partnership. It's your body. It's your body. So we need to work together to do what's right for what's going on. And we need to make sure the doctors that are coming into the fold don't turn into lazy doctors. Again, I'm not saying this about all medical doctors, nurses, practitioners. Let me make that clear. But I have encountered some of them that are looking down, writing on papers, not listening, not trying to make the connection with their patients. Hey, James Pruitt. And I'm not opposed to connecting Eastern with Western medicine. There is a place for both, just like J.C. Bear said. Very good point, Virginia Woolf. He said, I was asking my wife what age she had the sex ed stuff in school and realized they do it at a young age, like 6th grade, because that is when girls start getting the time of the month. Sometimes they get it even earlier. And Lord have mercy, you would be surprised how early some of them start talking about it. Shocking. Shocking. It's hard being a parent these days. You never know what's going to come out of their mouth. And think about what, not to get off the subject, but look at all the stuff they're exposed to so early already. I mean, Eden's already grown, but still, you never stop being a parent, in my opinion. Look at all of the stuff all the children are exposed to all of the time. And Virginia Woolf, can you even imagine in the next 10 years? I mean, I can't even fathom. It's everywhere. We sound like we're 150 years old, right? It's everywhere. You can't stop it. I mean, we tried to be so protective of Eden with the internet and put up all the blocks and stuff, but still, you still couldn't block it all. You still could not protect and block it all. Hey, Shelley. I mean, I remember getting the flip phone and when you had dial-up on the internet. Remember that sound? Waiting for it to connect. And now it's also instant. Do you think we'll be typing in the air? But insofar as medical gaslighting, it's another form of gaslighting. And now as we talk about gaslighting, oh, I didn't even throw up my intro. I need to do it really quick so people know who I am that are new to the show. I say show. I'll do it really quick. I just started right into talking about everything. Let me do that really quick. Everyone, welcome to Dear Dana. Those that are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody, again. I'm going to throw up the intro. I'm such a dingbat sometimes, right? But I wouldn't be Dana if I weren't a dingbat. Some of you already know that. I swear to you, I'm educated and smart about some things, right? We are a group here that we talk about spiritual things, psychology, social commentary, and we are about love and personal development, uplifting people, resonating higher, all connected to one creator. But be that as it may, I want to welcome you into the phone. We are no hate zone. No hate. And I believe your vibe attracts your tribe. Okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on really quickly to what happened at the Oscars. I could not talk about it for a bit because, oh, thank you, Virginia Woolf. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, and I see you in the bushes, and please subscribe because it really helps this channel to grow and get in front of other eyes. We will always talk about different things here. I'm about uplifting people, educating people, and helping people to heal in different and various ways. Yeah? And helping people just to, hopefully be good humans. We're about being good humans, loving other people, right? Not causing harm. But anyway, talking about not causing harm, when I was watching the Oscars, I've always liked Will Smith. I've always liked Chris Rock. And I heard the joke that Chris Rock did and when he was talking to Jada. Look, I know she has alopecia. I faintly heard it through the grapevine about it, but she is a warrior woman. She's proud of her head. It didn't look completely bald. When Chris Rock made the joke, I did not take it as an alopecia joke. She looked like she had some hair on her head. All women are sensitive about their looks in one way or another. All women generally like or don't like their hair. Bad hair day, no hair day, good hair day. She went to the Oscars with her hair as is. When Chris Rock made the joke about G.I. Jane, Demi Moore played the part and shaved her hair down for the part. Jada had her hair shaved down. When he made the joke, Jada is an actress. I took it as a G.I. Jane joke. For G.I. Jane too. It was not an alopecia joke. Period. Now, is she sensitive about her hair? She has not been displaying that. From what I've seen, she's a beautiful woman. She is an actress. Maybe it was a corny joke. But I do not feel he knew about her alopecia. Now, alopecia is not a good thing to have. But is it cancer? Is it MS? Could it be a million times worse? Yes. Was she sensitive enough to come to the Oscars wearing hair, wearing a wig, wearing something to cover it up? No. So, was it an inappropriate joke if he'd known she had alopecia? Yes. I don't think he knew she had it. Was it the end of the world? No. Did it warrant Will Smith to go up there and slug him side-handed like a karate chop? 100% no. No, 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 no. Will Smith laughed at the joke. Jada rolled her eyes. This is something that could have been handled like two men after the Oscars. Discussed. Will could have said, man, look, Jada didn't like it. She has this condition, whatever. Or Will could have chewed him out, or what have you. It could have waited till after. I've always looked up to Will Smith, meaning he's always inspired people. He's done a good body of work. He said a lot of inspirational things. When he did this, it's going to create a ripple effect. All this inspirational stuff he's done, he's burned it up. It's caused a problem with comedians across the world because of the potentiality of how people are going to do when they're on stage. That's another thing. The other thing is there are so many young men and young women that look up to him. But it's also going to cause an issue with the young men that look up to him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Particularly young black men. How is this going to speak to them about how to handle situations? Young people, period, but especially young black men, teenagers particularly, that have always looked up to him about how to do better, how to chase their dreams, etc., etc. That he has spoken to, that he has inspired, that he has touched their souls. What is this going to say? This is going to blow up a different kind of narrative for these young men that I know he's touched or worked with. This was just utter stupidity. He has more emotional intelligence than this that occurred. Look, Chris Rock is a comedian. That was tiny. Look, anytime someone is on the top about to get a huge award, there could be 4 or 5 of them. It has been historical that jokes have been made about him. So Will Smith or Jada or whomever is not just picked out of the pile. This is what comedians do. That was nothing. Nothing. If he had known about alopecia, I'm sure he wouldn't have done it. But it wasn't about alopecia. It wasn't about her having it. If you look back at the joke, it was not about that whatsoever. Will lost his crap. He went from laughing to that. That is not about protecting your wife over what? Protecting her over what? I mean, calling it a slap right out of the gate, that alone was gaslighting. You could watch it in slow motion and hear the force. That's what a slap sounds like. That did not sound like a slap. That was like a side-handed karate chop. It had power and force behind it. It just goes to show you that there seems to be different rules and laws for Hollywood versus the regular people. What narrative does this really give to the world, to the children in the world? Let me break it down even more. To young males, to those in the world about how to handle themselves appropriately. I've loved both of them. But to protect your wife from clear and present danger with violence of need, he could do that. You never use violence when clearly unnecessary. I feel a sense of shame watching this, and Will have I have a difficult time viewing Will in the same way now. There was no clear and present danger. That's when you protect somebody. There was no clear, I mean, to use the word protect, I mean, he's human. I give humans a break. But he speaks about love all the time. And here was like what, actors just, they strive and have to overcome so much in their life to get an award like that. I mean, they were, a couple of years ago, boycotting because they didn't feel like enough people of color were getting awarded. Jada was boycotting. Will was boycotting. It's just painful to watch something like that. And then after that, other people were getting awards, and it was completely overshadowed. everything. So I just want to know what message it gives out to every young person that has ever practically worshiped him. I mean, the eye roll was bad, but listen, he could have comforted her in a moment. How bad is that eye roll to shake up? I mean, look at it this way. If you went to see the Queen of England, which the Academy is not, how would you hold yourself? So if you're an actor and you know having an Academy Award, an Oscar, is a huge thing, it's not the Queen of England, but it's probably similar feeling. How would you uphold yourself? You would want to keep your shit together and act a certain way because you know this is a historical thing for you forever and ever and ever. And now he's got all these comedians so freaked out because it's like it's giving people permission to do that because Will Smith did that. Hey, JC Bear.
Hello. How you all doing?
Fine.
Hope
How are you?
everybody's going fine. Um, I completely understand what you're saying, but here's the thing. We don't know. All couples, I'm sure you and your hubby have certain signals and looks that you give each other when you're out where you know exactly how each other is thinking. Like it's time to leave or it's time to do this or something like that.
Right.
With their relationship, because it's been public, like Jada has certain podcasts and so forth where their relationship has become very public.
Yeah.
We don't know behind the scenes what they expect from each other.
Right.
So maybe, this is all conjecture. If that was my partner, I would probably react because she didn't react except to him. So you automatically want to jump in front of your partner as a shield. But that's what, like, and this is where it gets all twisted and torn around. Do you expect your partner to defend you when somebody is coming at you and you feel that it's inappropriate? I need
If
to
you're,
bounce this off a couple of women because
if
I need to I need the female perspective on this because I know, like, as a guy you want to get in there and you want to defend your partner.
if they were going to physically harm me, I would expect him to react.
Okay.
But to make a sassy little joke, no, I wouldn't expect him to physically act like that. No, not whatsoever. I can handle myself, number one.
No,
That's
I know.
completely, it's just psychologically imbalanced.
Oh, I agree. The slap. I mean, I thought he was just going to go up and basically say, "This is not cool. Move on. We're going to talk about this after your set," type of deal. I
But I
thought he
mean,
was just going to have a verbal exchange. I
at
didn't
the
think.
awards, you wouldn't even go up on the stage. I mean, this is like, that's why I'm comparing it to the Queen.
Don't you slap yourself?
This is like a big deal. You don't interrupt it like that. And it was more than a slap because I went and watched it in slow motion several times. The thrust of that arm and the way the hand was, it was like a side karate chop. That was a heavy force. A slap is like this. It was not a slap. It was more like the intention of the way he did his hand was significantly painful.
Hmm.
It was he thought about the way he did his hand before he went up there. It caused pain. Trust. Even call it a slap is gaslighting.
Okay, point taken.
Yeah,
But
that
the
that crap hurt.
but here's the thing: did she, like, we don't know what they said to each other in private or when they got home, but did she expect that him to do that?
You know, I don't know. I
Well,
don't know.
that's what I mean. It's like it's the expectations as a couple. Like as you've grown over the years, like with your own hubby or anybody in the chat with their own significant other or husband or wife or so forth, what what would you expect them to do? And I found that there's been a variety that are team Will, a variety that are team, Chris, and so forth. And this is like a broader. I think it's also a broader issue.
Oh, I agree. That's why I was saying it affects comedians. It affects teenagers. It's rippling.
Yes, and
It's
it's
more
ripping.
than just the Oscars. But if she expected him to do this, then she's trying to ruin his career.
True, but right now, even if he doesn't make another movie ever again, he is also quite affluent at this point in time in his life.
Right, but he doesn't want his career over.
True, which would mean he would have to go more on to the production and producer side behind the scenes.
Right, so if she's wanting it over, she's a wicked, wicked woman. Mm.
True, but again, it's like this is. I think this is a little microcosm of how men and women, when they're in a relationship, the whole expectations of how they're supposed to react to each other and how what they're expected of from each other, either in a supportive role or in another role. Like if he had not done anything and they used it, he used his speech to bring light to her condition. I think that would have been more effective.
Yeah.
But would it have satisfied her ego as part of the couple?
See, he could have gone up and said a speech and made a comment about not appreciating the joke, brought up her condition, and it would have been glorious. You see what I'm
True.
saying?
Yes.
But he messed things up. We don't know what the academy's going to do, and now there's three.
Well, the thing is that they've allowed other Academy Award winners who've done far more despicable things to retain their Academy Award.
And they should take that too. Now, if they decide to take wheels, they may, retro and take those too. Who knows?
True.
Just don't know.
Right now, yeah, there's a lot of internet memes going around, and it's not in the most pleasant light.
Hey, C. Cruz, the only thing is, Will did this in front of God and everybody on the Academy stage.
Yeah. At
That,
first, I thought it was all a setup, actually, to get the ratings up. At
yeah.
first, until everybody was taking it so serious, until it like came to light that it wasn't a some type of act to draw ratings in, because you never
Yeah.
know, because the Academy Awards have been falling in ratings for the last 5 years. So it was kind of hard at first. I thought this has to be a joke, and then it came out to light later that it wasn't. But again, it's what do you when you're in a relationship, and what is the expectation from each other's partner? Like if this had happened in the backyard, would people still be saying that it's toxic and so forth, or would they be saying, "Well, man, you crossed the line"? This is the thing. It's like it's reflecting something that's going on in a larger issue. In my opinion, just my
Right.
opinion.
And see, now their kids think it's all cool, but it's going to harm their children's careers too, to some degree, at least
Potentially, yeah,
temporarily.
yeah, that's true.
So, and some of the directors and stuff aren't appreciating what happened. Now, you do have a lot of people that are going, well, he was protecting his wife, he was looking out for his wife, and all that stuff. But look, mm, yeah, Virginia Woolf says the way that he was yelling and cursing didn't seem like a stage line. He was super aggressive. It was just too far. It was too far.
True, but we don't know if on the ride over they had gotten into a fight in the limo or at the home, and things were on a more tense.
But before they were, on the screen saying, we're here to cause chaos and all that stuff before it ever happened. Now, the two may be very detached, but it doesn't make it look, if you were to, it doesn't make it look good. If it,
No, I get what you're saying, but I wanted to be the devil's advocate for you.
go ahead.
You know that I love doing that, especially
Yeah,
talking about food. But I also, this is where, when you look at all of the stuff that's coming down from it, it's
yeah,
you know, initially I was like, I got to be honest. Initially, I was like, yeah, you stood up for your partner, but then when the slap came, I was like, oh Lord, no, 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 no. And that's where I'm kind of like torn between one half and the other.
yeah,
And then I have to think, okay, what actually happened between them before they got there,
yeah,
and what may have brought him to that tipping point. I
yeah.
mean, when you're thinking about the admission of, the affairs on both sides, stuff like that.
I mean, they say
That
they kind of have an open relationship, or if you
Yeah,
want to call it that.
yeah, and but that can also do a number on someone's ego, and then this way it could be overcompensating for something like that. Doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. When you get cheated on, it's a definite blow to the ego. And
Yeah.
I guess when you're super famous, it's also a double blow.
And Vintage made a good point, which I thought about as well, that when he said, personally, I found his acceptance speech triggering. To paraphrase, he pretty much said, love made me do it. But that's just like saying an ABUSER if they end up putting their lover in the grave saying, oh, love made me do it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Creepy.
they have a very weird relationship dichotomy for two people.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, why didn't she, grab his arm and say, "We'll settle, like we'll talk to him after," because it was after, because at first he was laughing, and then he looked over to her, and then the eye roll, and we don't know, whether that was like, "Oh, here we go again. You're not going to do anything." We don't know what that meant to him. We don't know what she meant by it.
when I took it when she did the eye roll was like, that's a damn stupid joke. Or you know,
But that's you. That's me.
yeah,
That's our dichotomy.
right,
We don't know what that's what I mean. Behind the scenes, we don't know what and by no means am I justifying, yes, going up and smacking somebody up on the stage, but I kind of took like after I was in it and going, yeah, you stood up for your partner. Oh no, you did that. But is it really wrong to stand up for your partner? And then I'm like, but then I don't know what their relationship is like behind closed doors.
right. I mean, I think it's good to stand up for your partner, but there are appropriate ways to do so. You know?
Yes, and that's the thing is like, do you actually get to sit there and do you actually like usually stuff like this happens like early on in your relationship where you know a guy does something stupid and then they talk to their girlfriend or wife and they're like I really liked what you did but how you did it I don't approve of, maybe you should do
Yeah,
this if we're in this situation, you know, those types of conversations you have to have with your other half so that you know what each other expects.
yeah,
But if they've their relationship has gotten to the point where you know egos have been hurt, embarrassment has been felt, uh, all those other emotions, and we don't know what happened leading up to the Oscars as well as that night that pushed him to the point of losing his temper and getting up there. It's like I'm no way justifying. I'm just trying to connect the dots in my own head.
yeah. But you know, I can't help but feel for Chris Rock.
Yeah, I think a lot of comedians were shocked because there was no security. Like there was no security. It's like when you have people that close to the stage and feel empowered to go up there when they're, you know, their name hasn't been called or they're not presenting, and then to proceed to what, you know, giving the slap or the chop.
Mm.
It's kind of like next year they may actually have security there, and if you're not supposed to be up there, you're going to get blocked.
I mean, somebody made a Will Smith joke earlier in the night, and nobody cared. And they made other jokes. I mean, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Broken 13 said Chris Rock had it coming. Okay, that's your opinion. Nobody, in my opinion, violence is not called for. You know, violence
Yeah,
is not
yeah,
called.
it could have been handled in a better way. That would have been more impactful. But I understand what Broken is saying. It's like, and that could be just the male thing that you know you just want to say. I know you're going to look at me differently. I'm not the teddy bear, but I mean, you're going to want to go, you know, shut up, smack, or
But I mean,
smack,
it's
shut up.
like if somebody's singing at a concert and all of a sudden they're singing to your girl, you're going to go up there and beat their butt.
Well, you kind of expect that now. If they stay all night, I'd be like, move along home, keep
But
moving. I'd just
you,
be waving them on.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's I don't know. Maybe it's just a male thing that you want to react physically, and it
Yeah.
takes time. It especially if somehow your temper is triggered, and that takes a lot of time to master.
I mean, it's kind of like I loved G.I. Jane.
Hmm.
She when that movie came out, Demi Moore was in it. She was fierce, beautiful. She did her thing. So he goes, "I love you, Jada, G.I. Jane too." Blah 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 blah. I didn't take it as a put down when he said it.
No, initially I didn't either until somebody informed me that she was suffering with alopecia.
Right. but I didn't take it as his putting that condition down, and I didn't think he knew she had it. So, how many guys watch Red Table Talk? Let's be honest.
No, true, true.
So, and then it came out he didn't know she had it.
Well, that's what he says now, but hopefully he's telling the truth.
Right,
Because if he did know, then that would be like a cheap shot.
right, it would be. I don't disagree.
But that's why I need to come up and bounce it off of a female perspective.
Right, and I appreciate you.
Yes, but I knew I had to come up and ask because I'm like, wait a minute, Dana, what about this? Wait a minute, Dana, what about this? And
But
that's why I like,
I don't like violence.
no, I know. And we're always striving to handle it in a separate way. But
Yeah, and I like the two sides of it. And I like, look, before this happened, I like both of them. And I don't hate either one of them. But the occurrence of it occurring for the world to see and the repercussions of it that are going to ripple is what bothers me.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
because especially for younger males looking up to him,
Yeah, because we already
figuring
have
that
so
they
much stuff going on.
figuring that, well, if Will Smith can do this, then I'm entitled to do this if you're talking bad about the person I'm with.
Bingo.
So instead of just saying, keep your mouth shut,
Let me hurt you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
then,
that's the thing when you are at that level of celebrity, there is a certain
are,
amount of influence.
yeah, are there different rules? I don't like that.
Hmm. Well, we've seen that there are some different rules in Hollywood for people, and not always appropriate rules. But that's the thing when it comes to removing, like taking back his Oscar. Well, are they going to go back through the last 40 years for people who have done far worse things and start removing their Oscars? You
There
know,
need to be better guidelines.
yeah. Now, and that's the thing. It's like, and that's the thing is that then they're going to have to filter through a lot. There's going to be a lot of Oscars recalled
I definitely
from
think they should take
producers.
the
Yeah,
predators away.
yeah. But if they didn't do it then do they really have a precedent by using this code of conduct item now?
Well, maybe they should go back so far to the most recent.
Hmm.
Maybe they should go back to the most recent at least.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I mean, but when you look in the last 10 years, there's been a lot that's come out
Yeah.
that should be, yeah. And they've done a lot worse predatory behavior. So
Y-
I don't want to get you in trouble on your channel.
Baby, something's got to change.
Yes. But yes, broken. I do agree. I do agree with you, but it's in the way you defend them. That's the issue here is and trust me, I know you. I don't know. Maybe it's a guy thing that you want to react physically, but but sometimes you have to do it in a different way to get your point across to a broader audience.
Trust and
But I
believe,
totally get it.
if someone were coming to do physical harm against people I love, my adrenaline would pump so hard that nothing could stop me physically. And I would probably go after them physically if they were coming after me, right? Then I would react. And I would have to react in that way, you know? But up until I have to, it would be do no harm. You see
True.
what I'm,
Yeah, I see where I understand what you're saying.
I am until I have to. It would be do no harm. But you wait until you have to.
True.
Why hurt someone unless you absolutely have to?
True. Plus, I mean, like it hurts your hand too.
Yeah, very very true. But things have got to change in the world. He can't walk around spouting all of this positivity and inspirational stuff and be a good person and be a good human, do the next right thing, and then do this cray cray stuff like that, and the walls all come tumbling down.
True. Which leads me to believe that there was something else that may have been happening behind closed doors before they got there
Yeah,
that up that amped him that may have amped him up.
but it was such a switch.
But think about it, if there was something going on in behind closed doors that we're not aware of or in the limo and it's amping a person up, but they know they got to keep it cool on the red carpet, and that the joke would have been the trigger point, and it's kind of like okay, enough. But and so it's how you react.
And she was sitting far away from him. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of variables that are still unknown. The problem is that everybody's just concentrating on the the chop, and all of a sudden it's like it's toxic. He's standing up for his partner. He didn't. The comedian didn't know, but that's no excuse. You're the whole back and forth with that. Yet we missed the whole thing that a wonderful movie won, consisting of an a majority deaf cast that you know broke a ceiling in the Academy Awards by having it done. The second deaf actor has won an Academy Award for Best Supporting. That's not talked about. All these other little breakthroughs that should be talked about
Yeah,
aren't. And now we're into the whole meme after meme after meme. Some of them quite hilarious, making fun of it. Some of them, that aren't in good taste are coming through. So that's the thing, is that what this actually caused is a whole diversion of what could have been a very wonderful night.
and it will be talked about forever. Unless that was the intention, but it backfires. I don't know. It's just crazy. I can't, and I'm supposed to be a psychotherapist, but I cannot wrap my brain around why ruin, knowing it would ruin it, unless you think it doesn't.
Exactly. So like I said, the whole dynamic of their relationship and the expectations from either side, with everything that's gone on in their past between affairs, the egos, um, this whole slew of items. I'd have to rely on more professional people to try and dissect it, because for me it's like something else has had to have gone on, because you know he won Best Supporting Actor. I think he's the first black actor since Sidney Poitier to win Best Supporting, or no, or Best Actor. Oh, I can't remember. Maybe Denzel Washington won for Best Actor. So maybe only the third black actor to win.
Right?
So I mean that's something, that's groundbreaking, that should have been celebrated. But
Yeah.
even that wasn't celebrated. That's all
Well,
bypassed over this incident.
but I mean, he celebrated all night, had a good time. everybody did celebrate like nothing had happened. It was celebrated. It's curious to what is going to occur because wasn't he up against last night? Wasn't he up against Denzel?
Yes, and he won. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that could have been celebrated a lot more, but that's all overshadowed.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
So, but I mean, behind the scenes, we don't know what their relationship really consists of and how they react to each other and what's expected from each other because we can
Mm,
only see it from this side of it.
yeah,
So that's what I mean with the red table talks that Jada hosts and speaking bluntly about her relationships and so forth.
and she does very bluntly.
So that can also be uh, quite damaging to a male's ego.
I mean, that is more harsh than that joke.
True, but then when the ego gets, this is where I need to rely on your expertise. When the ego gets beaten and bruised, exactly how have they healed from that? Like, did they learn and grow and heal from it, or are they still in that mode of hurt?
He probably takes a lot of rawness from it. I mean, because she is, you
Brutal.
can't, yeah.
Okay, I've never watched it. I've only
I've only seen it a few times, but I mean, she strips it down with her daughter and with her mother, with other people. You can't get, I mean, you can ask Finage. She doesn't get much more finished. Does she get much more raw than you possibly can when she talks about him? And see, all these other comedians are shook to their core because they feel like it gives other people um, an
the right.
end, yeah, the right to just be able to go up and attack them.
Yes, and that's where this has brought this when it comes to comedy and humor and being able to do your performance. Are you literally going to be a target of violence for it if somebody disagrees with what you're saying on the stage or if somebody
Yeah.
feels offended? And
Well, if
that
Will Smith can do it, we can do it.
mhm, that's the precedence that's being set on the larger issues.
Yeah.
So it was good. I like bantering off different ideas with you. I always do.
I love it when you come up.
Well, between work and a few other obligations, it's like, I finally got to catch you live, all the fun stuff. And then also the news about Bruce Willis.
Oh, that is so sad. Bruce Willis has aphasia, and he will no longer be acting. There are things that he can't remember at times. So that was reported today. His acting career is now over.
Hmm.
His family will be wrapping their love around him and taking, you know, having family time and special moments. But that is it for him.
Yep, I always remember him from Moonlighting and the Die Hard series.
Oh yeah, I remember being a kid and watching Moonlighting. I loved that show. It was like dreamy.
Yes, they put the little Vaseline on the lens.
Oh, is that what they did?
I think that's what they did to make it look all that misty. It was before filters were invented.
But that is sad. Thanks for reminding me. And as we begin to wrap up, I'm not going to keep it hot and heavy and long tonight. Um, Saturday show, we may have some special little guests to bounce things off of. I'm not going to put them in a corner in case it doesn't work out. Um, but also Saturday show, I'm going to make my birthday show,
Yay!
and you can come just make a wish for yourself.
Or buy her a coffee. She loves her cappuccinos,
Yeah, sugar free.
cafe lattes.
I'm doing the sugar free. I'm back on my workout regimen so my body doesn't do the lockup thing. I'm forcing myself. I'm reminding everybody to do your body, mind, spirit thing.
Okay,
I'm
well,
sticking to it.
as a former Catholic in recovery, or recovery non-practicing Catholic, I did give up my gelato for Lent. Old habits die hard. So I can't wait for Easter, whereby I am ordering it and Uber will be delivering it. Yay! Some pistachio gelato or
Oh,
some,
I've never had that gelato.
and then there's also hazelnut gelato, and then there's coffee gelato. Oh, and the stracciatella ice cream, where it's the mix of the vanilla and the chocolate, and oh, just melts in your mouth. The textures.
See, that's what I had till tomorrow to make up my mind what I want for my birthday.
What do you want?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Romantic dinner out?
Maybe a punching bag or a weight bench. I don't know.
Wow. Romantic dinner out. See, the bear says romantic dinner out. The lady says, a punching bag, maybe a nice weight set. What is wrong? What is wrong here, people?
I have problems.
You can do both. Romantic lunch and a weight bench. A lunch as opposed to a dinner.
Willow looks at me. A punch bag? I like to punch things.
You want the ones that like fall down and come back up automatically, or the ones that you hang from the ceiling?
Well, I tried to get one that fell down and came back up, and it was a cheap one and it deflated, so that didn't work.
No, you need something with a little more force behind it, so that way when you get mad, you can really knock it.
The one with the
Uh,
sand in it?
you got an itchy nose. You're gonna kiss a fool tonight. You're gonna kiss a fool.
Yeah, my nose started itching all of a sudden. It makes me want to sneeze. Yes,
Yes,
boxing is very therapeutic.
a romantic weight bench. A weight bench for two.
I went to the gym with Eden because she went one day by herself and an older guy was flirting with her and it made her very nervous. So I went with her Monday and nobody bothered her. We split up though for a little while, but yeah, they didn't have any punching bags there. I wasn't happy.
Sometimes you have to look for a specific like boxing gym.
Yeah, this was just the purple gym. That's the one we went to.
The
Something
Purple
fitness.
Planet Fitness.
That's it. We went to Planet Fitness. They didn't have any boxing things.
Hey, my nieces got their next level belts in Taekwondo, so I have ninja nieces. I love it.
Ah, um, I'm certified quarter force kickboxing instructor, but I haven't done anything in a year. So I went back to my fitness regime, and I realized I had some stiffness in places, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't going to happen."
Well, do you have your workout area like in your basement, like, or do you have it?
No, I don't have a basement, so I do it in the house or outside.
So you need something that would be mobile enough for you to take outside to do the workout, like in the sunlight and fresh air, and you can keep your feet grounded in the grass while you're doing it.
Yeah, or move it into my office, or yeah, or outside. Yeah,
Yeah, you have to be careful in the office. If you punch one of those ones that go down and come up, it can knock your whole setup over. If you're not careful.
yeah, but yeah, I like to punch and kick things.
Are you gonna have cake for your birthday?
Yes, I
Cake?
am.
Oh, what type of cake? You
I
know I'm
like
gonna ask about dessert. You knew it. You had to have known it.
I like white cake, or this kind of soft like pudding. I like Publix cake. I don't know if you have Publix, but I like the frosting to be like a cream cheese or a
Mm,
chocolate.
mm. I would love, oh, that, a nice thick cream cheese frosting on a nice carrot cake
Oh, I like carrot cake.
with
Yeah.
a little drizzle of caramel along each side. Oh, mwah.
Oh, that
You can
sounds
have
yummy.
that with a nice cappuccino. Mm,
Oh, that sounds good too.
mhm. Or what you can do is get them to buy 8 different slices of cake, and then that way you can try one piece of carrot cake and another piece of your favorite cake and another piece if you want.
Hmm. And see, I'm trying to reverse aging with no surgery. You know.
Yeah, well, you don't need surgery, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Birthday's this Saturday, Shelly Marie.
It's technically Sunday, but I like to do a show where people drop in and make a wish for themselves.
Mm. Yes, Virginia Wolf. That is Dino's Bakery, and that has the Venetian cup pepperoni. It's a little salty, but you do that with a little mozzarella, a little uh, ricotta cheese. Oh, and a nice basil
Oh,
sauce. Oh my
that
God.
sounds good.
Mm. Oh, peanut butter cake.
Oh,
Well,
that
you
sounds good.
can, as long as it's crunchy peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter, and then layer that between. Oh,
Oh, I would like to have I can't find one, but I would like to have a good original, like a Italian lasagna,
mm.
or like
And
a
they
really
have
good Italian dish. Mm,
with it
mm,
where it's layered nice with some ricotta, some meat if you feel like it, or
mm.
either a layer of vegetables like roasted red peppers or roasted eggplant, and then layered again with the mozzarella. And, oh,
Like a good Italian mama to make me a good Italian dish.
with the
Mm.
homemade sauce, and then you
Yes.
sprinkle the parmesan or the Romano cheese on top after it comes out of the oven, so it just melts nicely. Oh, oh.
Ugh.
Mm. Don't talk
Yes.
to me about pasta. It's part of my COVID belly. No,
Or a good Scottish dish. One or the other. I would be in heaven.
but not haggis.
No, 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 no. Ugh,
No,
not that. No.
or the one that has like the egg wrapped in the beef.
That sounds good.
I think it's a Scotch egg.
Yeah.
I always give everybody the munchies for vintage. It's like, especially when you want to talk about food, it's like a nice
Or
fettuccine Alfredo. Alfredo.
lobster.
Yes,
I love lobster.
if it's done nicely with a nice clarified butter with seasoned with some garlic or maybe some other spices that
Yes.
you can kind of dip and eat. Or
Yeah.
oysters Rockefeller. Oh,
I
love
don't think I've
oysters
had
Rockefeller.
that.
Oh, that's where it's actually cooked and seasoned and breaded on top, and you can scoop it right out of the shell. It's like, oh, they for our division they held a virtual thing and they had a food challenge quiz. I lapped people in points. I was like, yes, yes.
Man, oh man.
Well, if you're allergic to shellfish, you can always have a lovely salmon, and you can do that up so many different ways. You can even use a little bit of maple syrup to sweeten it, or a nice lemon and seasoning on it, and it's like I always like to do. I have an air fryer, so I'm experimenting with a whole bunch of new recipes. So it's kind of like you can flip it, and I like the salmon steak versus the fillet. But oh.
You need to come on here one night. We okay. Look, this is the deal. We need to have a night where you come on and show us how to make something.
Oh, oh my God! I'd probably have to do different videos ahead of time to see about the lighting. I got to work on that because I have another project in the works that is something similar.
Are you going to do a
So
channel?
Potentially, it's in the works right now. I'm working with somebody, and I've actually been given two different suggestions for a channel. One is
Food.
actually, yeah, two different suggestions. One is actually reading, like reading children's stories,
Oh, that's good.
and the other one is with another person from you that I met from YouTube that wants to do something along the lines of cooking, whereby they have all the setup and so forth, and I would be narrating.
That's good too.
So we are having, yeah, bear and bison steaks are delicious, high protein too, and tasty. Um, so those items are right now in the work, but I will keep you posted once it's coming to like a production debut. I will let you know.
Okay.
But right now we're just developing different ideas and seeing what will work and what may not work.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you gotta have some fun on your birthday. I want to hear about on Sunday. You should know about what your dessert, if you're going to go out, if you're staying in, picnic in the backyard if it's a nice day. That would be nice in your backyard if it's sunny and
Yeah.
warm.
I don't know if you'll do that or not.
Or you can always order in from Uber or DoorDash.
One day I
Even
want
that
him to take me to the waterfall, so for sure.
there are waterfalls where you are.
Yeah,
Oh, you can have a picnic at the waterfalls.
there are a lot of waterfalls.
Oh wow.
They
See,
make a lot of the Hallmark movies close to us.
oh well, next time you do go out there, you should drop a vid on scenic parts around where you live.
Yeah, that would be good. The bear is so romantic. Danny just wants to punch stuff.
That's because I'm older. I have jettisoned my aggressive side. Okay, I try to jettison my aggressive side. Still comes
See,
out at times.
I stay calm by punching stuff.
Well, that's a good thing.
I take out my aggression by punching stuff. Today, I danced.
Hey, that works.
Yeah, I shake it up a little bit. But see, I do things that are, it's like free, well, therapy, psychotherapy, but also physical therapy. When I do this stuff, it's like physical therapy to keep my body working.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I always pop up. I'm a permanent panelist on Babbling with Bobbles. So but I sometimes I like to do some of my own stuff. So that's the matter of some of the other channel ideas that people were pitching to me, and I'm like, that's an
Yeah, I have to
idea. I got to
go
take a
pop
look.
over there just to say hey to you. Why do you
Yes.
think I go over there?
Well,
Because I
yes.
miss, because I miss you. I go find you.
True. I'm popping up on various parts of YouTube, so
I pop up if I pop somewhere and he thinks it's chaotic. He chaotic. It, Danny, you don't need to be here.
yeah, it's like no, Dana, no, 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 no. Or I'll send you a message going, no, back out of the room slowly, back out of the room slowly.
Yeah, because I do find it bothers me if I walk in the den and my husband is watching, um, like crime story and it's real graphic and there's a lot of heavy stuff going on. I internally can't deal with it
Mm.
because I take it all the information in.
And then it weighs on your mind overnight too.
Yeah. He was watching something the other day, and a criminal. Um, he's a criminal socio. I can't remember the whole title. Criminal sociologist, investigator guy, whatever. Can't remember the whole title. He used to be my professor.
Oh my God.
See, I'm connected to all these people from different walks of life that end up doing these bigger things. Isn't it weird? But he used to be my sociology professor at college and stopped and went on to do this criminal investigation stuff
Wow.
because he could get into break down the minds of these heavy duty killers. And my husband's watching it and there's Dr. Hickey.
And you're like, I work with that man.
I was like, there's Dr. Hickey. My husband goes, what? I see he was my professor. But it was just real heavy duty stuff. This man was stalking these women and, getting on with them and then killing them and breaking their bodies down and hiding them somewhere and making deals with the authorities to find them.
Oh wow.
And so he's watching them, and I'm like, I can't deal with this. I have to like go somewhere else if he's watching this stuff. Yeah, Dr. Hickey with a Y.
And we're not talking about that the love bites one, okay?
You have a feeling I'd like Gaiman. He's brilliant. Is that how you spell his name? I mean, I like the science of figuring out if I can help people figure out where people are. That's one thing, but hearing all the details of what they did to them,
Yeah, that's an acquired taste. Some people are totally enthralled by it,
yeah,
and others it's like, yeah, not really my thing.
yeah,
Because it kind of like because I find when you listen to stuff like that too much, when you're viewing other people when you go out, it's kind of like, I wonder, he or she looks like that person, right? I wonder if they're actually, how dark are they?
and this was a guy that was good looking, educated. You would never, looking at him, think he would do something like that. Yeah, this my professor's name was Dr. Eric Hickey, Eric. So you can find him, but don't bother him.
Vintage, you have an eclectic group of medical professionals that you see.
Yeah, he's not a doctor that you see for physical stuff, by the way, but very smart man. Oh, you just started tarot reading? Always protect yourself before you start doing it and after, by the way. But
True.
anywho, I have enjoyed all of you. Marie Crumb says, unfortunately, they have an open marriage. They both cheated on each other. Hollywood sure is loony. Yeah, you can say that.
Oh God, yeah. And did you have dinner today?
Me?
Yes,
I haven't eaten today.
Dana.
I'm going to eat after this.
We're gonna have a discussion in the back room.
I know, but I sort of do intermittent fasting as well.
Mm-hmm. We'll discuss in the back room.
Okay. Well, anyway, I hope all of you got something out of this between medical gaslighting, always advocate for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Trust
Again,
me, I know.
not saying all doctors are bad because they're not. You get a sense for the good ones, the ones that care, and the ones that are blowing you off.
My doctor treats me quite differently ever since that one incident. And now when I say there's something wrong, it's like, okay, let's talk about it and see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, because if they tend to blow you off and it's something serious, not good
Hmm.
and can be
Exactly.
dangerous.
Exactly. And don't discount like natural healing methods. Sometimes acupuncture, self-care is important. So that can also help in certain methods, but it's all exploration. It's all about what works for you.
Yeah, and I'm not saying be a hypochondriac over every little itch and you know, but I'm also saying don't ignore things that you feel should be looked at
True.
that keep coming up. You know,
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to, because if you do everything the doctor says and it's still not improving, You really, really have to advocate for yourself and say, no, I need something else or another test or something done because this is not working.
Absolutely. And as far as the Will Smith thing, we all have opinions. They're
Hmm.
like booties.
Hmm.
Everybody's got one. But at least we can all say it was shocking. It didn't feel right. We'll have to see what happens.
Oh, yeah, this isn't the last time we'll hear about it or it being referenced.
Yeah. Hey, Mark Kropka.
Hey, Mark.
He just popped in. But I love you all. Take care of yourself. And like I say, your vibe attracts your tribe. And
Like,
who,
share, and subscribe.
yes, please like, share, and subscribe, especially you in the bushes. You know I see you. You know I love you. And whoever asked me to get a Cash App, I did. Um, if you want to contribute to the coffee fund, you don't have to, but you're more than welcome. We have PayPal at miracles3 at charter.net. And we now have a Cash App at Dear Dana 1111. Very easy.
Also, your Instagram.
Oh, yeah, it is my Instagram now. Those stupid hackers.
Hmm. At first, I thought you were selling me Bitcoin.
Yeah, I know. They're still going strong. Instagram didn't stop them.
Well, I don't. I blocked them, so they're not after me no more.
I know, but Instagram should have stopped it. But they're still.
I've reported them twice.
Well, no, they took all my friends and followers and my pictures.
Yeah, I think the pictures are the hardest.
It hurts my heart. But anyway, you all have a good rest of your week. I'll see you Saturday. Come make a wish on my birthday Saturday.
Yes, and sing happy birthday.
Yeah, come sing happy birthday. Pop up live. Say hello. But
It's all good.
I love you all. Take it easy. And I will see you next time. Thank you for coming to
Ciao.
Dear Dana. Bye. Like and subscribe. Till next time. Bye, everybody. And here we go. Dun, 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 dun.